This week, Governor Eddie Calvo will begin issuing government-wide notifications of layoffs. These notifications do not necessarily mean that employees receiving them will be laid off.
I don't want to cause any undue alarm to anyone who does receive these notices. Again, this is just part of that process. We want to make this as least painful as possible. And I want to assure those workers that may be and will be displaced that we're going to make every effort to give them the necessary support they require to ensure that there are other opportunities that are made available to them.
The governor is waiting on reports from his agency heads that are due on Wednesday. These reports will be comprised of their plans for reorganization within their respective agencies. Once he reviews their recommendations, he will draft a plan for government-wide reorganization, which he says means some employees will be laid off.
This situation that we're in did not just crop up overnight. This has been something that has been ongoing for many years. But we've come to the point where at this $360 million deficit that is just weighing down this government, it has the possibility, if we don't correct things now, for this government to become non-viable, and I just won't allow that.
Senator Ben Pangilinan says the governor has not only the authority, but an obligation to look at ways to streamline the government.
I support his effort to try and take a look at where we can streamline government, where we can cut expenses, but we all have to follow the law, and that's really all we can ask for, because when you do that, then it's fair.
Generally speaking, Senator Pangilinan says that if the governor is going to reorganize an agency or lay off anyone in an agency, he has to start with a certain class of employee first.
You decide what class of employee you're going to lay off. So clerks, secretaries, program coordinators, special project coordinators. And so you have to tell that class of employee that they're subject to a layoff.
The senator says that they must also look first at provisional employees, temporary or limited term employees, and probational employees before touching classified employees. The governor says his administration is doing just that, and his plans will ensure that critical services like public safety, health, and education are maintained. But is there any way to avert the layoffs?
I wish there was, and I wish we could have robust economic growth. I wish that many areas in terms of revenue estimates that have occurred in the past few years in regards to budgets and spending plans of previous governments, I wish they were more accurate. But the situation is today is not just the current financial position of the government of Guam in terms of revenues coming in to pay for this year's obligations. It's this burden of many years. And I wish there was a better and more less painful way of doing it. And if there is, we'll find it. But at this point, this is the only recourse left to this government. And we're going to make some tough decisions. But again, with that in mind, I want to just speak to the people of Guam that what we're doing will be in the long-term best interest of this community.